Yo, what's up, guys? I'm back at the alt at Save for Abyss, and we're farming Giants Keep Abyss Heart. And actually, this is a lot easier than I thought. Like, at first I thought, like, you need pretty good runes already to make this work. You need the very specific units. Maybe you need the skill ups and everything. Well, no, actually you don't. This team is 100%. Like, I've been running this, I think, for 3 days straight right now. I could have built this way earlier, probably. But I've been running this 3 days straight with 0 fails. Like, I always call things like 99. You have like the one random RNG fail here and there. This team is so safe that it just doesn't fail at all. It's slow though. It's definitely slow. And I have seen like the Sigmaras die from time to time. But the main thing is the first 3 units. Like, the first 3 units are the ones I would say make it insanely safe. And this one I would recommend the skill ups on, at least the skill 2. This one and this one do not have skill ups at all. And yeah, they also don't really have any great runes. I would recommend to keep above 35 accuracy on both of them. Well, actually all 3 of them. I think the Pheromone says that as well. And then this is just a damage set, apparently also file. And then also no skill ups on this one. And this is my rage set that I was also using in the Dragons team, so I didn't really switch it. So pretty low on the attack. It has the accuracy slot 6 in there. But this team is just insanely safe, and it's actually so much easier to run. And I would say right now, before it was somewhat more difficult to get your 2As in, because farming the B5 of 2A was pretty difficult. They made the switch since the most recent patch that they reduced the difficulties of the, well, pretty much all of the dungeons of the 2A dungeons. And I tested that, and I was doing a Lulu on B, or I was upping my Lulu on, I think I did B3 or B4. I think I did B4. Haha, B4. But, yeah, that one was doable. And then B5 was absolutely not done, because I was using a Thessarion, because you needed a defense type and an HP type in there. So I was kind of having some weird units in there. But at some point I did it right now after patch, and it was clearing 100%. So I went from pretty much 0 chance to clear it, because these things were doing ignored defense for like 6Ks. These ignored defenses were reduced to like 2.5Ks. That's one of those side towers was hitting. So I'm like, okay, that's a pretty big reduction in anything. And for this team to make this quite fast, you would need to have Shannon 2A. Like, Baladion 2A is pretty easy. That's one of the easier dungeons, I would say. Because you just use any 4 stars and you kind of can get Baladion 2A. That's not that hard. But for Shannon, you need to have 4 wind units. And for wind units, there's not really too many wind units that I would claim early game are very strong. So, of course, Naomi is definitely in there. But after Naomi, like, you kind of have to search for somewhat of a healer. You could go for like a Wind Yeti or some weird shit, or Jasun if you have one pulled. But there's not too much stuff to it, so the Shannon was a little bit harder. But where they made it right now that the 2A dungeon is so much easier, there's probably a lot more options out there to just clear that one pretty easy. So with that said, I could see a build of an account where you could say like, okay, I'm not going into dragons. I'm going straight into giants, because I think it is doable right now. The only thing you need to think about is like, okay, what is my team that is going to make my Shannon 2A? Because Shannon 2A, I would say, I wouldn't say that I would need it per se at this point, but it makes things very safe and lowers the rune quality by a lot. And the main thing is that defense buff. The defense buff, but also her whole kit in general. She has the defense buff, she has the slow, and she has the glancing. So all that together just makes it super safe. Like, if you want to make this even more safe than it is right now, I would replace the Sigmaras for a Bernard, because Bernard's skill 2 also has attack down. The moment that you have glancing debuff, attack down, slow, plus defense buff on yourself, the boss is gonna do absolutely no damage to you whatsoever. And the main thing what is very strong in this team is, well, we have an armor breaker in here. Like, at first I was thinking about having the Sigmaras on Preline. And Preline is that fire harp thingy, whatever. Or not the fire harp, the wind harp. Harpy? Whatever that thing is that we all use in all of these stages that has like the most armor breaks. Harpu, I'm pretty sure, wind harp. But I was using it over here, and then I was like, why do I even need that? Because in the end, Baladion is pretty much a guaranteed armor breaker as well. Well, it's just one hit, but Baladion is actually a very solid armor breaker. Like if you're lacking anything in your Giants team, like it's failing from time to time, maybe replace your armor break with just a Belladion and see it work like to tremendous success. At least that's how it goes for me. Only thing you have to do is the speed tuning, get the speed tuning kind of right, where the Varamos will move in between like the moment you get anything like that. Plus the cool thing about the Belladion is Belladion actually has perfect AI. So it will always use as one if there's nothing to heal and nothing to strip. If there's something to heal, it will always heal. If there's something to strip, it will always strip if there's not something to heal. So it goes healing, then stripping, and then armor break. But only if it is necessary. So it's not going to start wasting all of those skills. So that just makes Belladion a insanely good unit for beginner accounts to get like a lot of stuff going. Then we have the 2 slots over here. I would say the Sigmara slot is pretty much open for any damage dealer. You could put a Crow in there, would probably work. I would say Sigmara is slightly better because you have the stuns as well, and you have the attack break on Sigmara's skill 3 as well. So therefore I place Sigmara's over a Crow. But I would say that Crow might be faster than this, or I'm pretty sure that Crow will be faster than this. On the slot of Naomi, I think Naomi would be best in slot, because since they nerfed the boss to a sense where it's not full on HP anymore, it's also a lot of defense right now. That's where it becomes interesting to just do a lot of damage. You have the attack buff already, she provides branding, and she needs no crit rate. Like the moment that there's 1 debuff on the boss, you need 0 crit rate, you already crit. So she becomes very easy to build. I don't think I have artifacts put on her damage on water. I think I could put that as well. I have a few of those as well. But yeah, that just makes this very easy. And is this super fast now? We're looking at like 1.5 to 2 minute runs. Like average is like 1:45-ish. Is that super fast? No, that's absolutely not fast. But the moment that we replace, let's say, the Sigmaras for an Akamamir, which is what I'm trying to pull from the content of guild battle stuff right now. The moment that I get Akamamir, I think a non-skilled Akamamir would already do faster than Sigmaris is doing right now. So with all of that, like this team is very, very solid. The moment you want to make it faster than that, I would just say that better runes on the Naomi and better runes on the Akamamir would probably help. After that, making it faster than that, I think you have to start looking in replacing one of those two. Like replacing the Belladion, I think is a little bit more difficult. But I would say that this is already a pretty fast run for an account that has like near to no rune quality. Like I showed the runes at the start. You can go back to them and check them, but the rune quality is definitely not really there. And I would say that clearing the bosses goes decently fast. Clearing the waves takes a little bit of time, kind of depends. Like we kind of need like an armor break on every individual unit by the Belladion, and then we start doing proper damage. And especially if that is resisted, it takes a little bit of time, and Prilia would do better. But with that, it also becomes a lot less consistent, because the heal that this unit provides, but also the strip that that unit provides, is just super solid. And I would say for the waves, the Varamos is just insanely strong, because everything that the Varamos doesn't place a stun, it at least pushes back. So it's either of one of those two things. It has a good amount of damage on that skill too as well. And that just helps a tremendous amount to just get like pretty decently fast runs. And as you can see, this run is as safe as can be. So if you were still, I don't think there's too many people that were still in Giants B10. But if you were still farming Giants B10, just simply get these 3 units plus 2 damage dealers and you're probably good to go. And just make sure that the Varamos moves kind of in between that. My Varamos, I would have to check the exact speed order of which units move in which rotation. I'll check that in the next one, because I'm actually not 100% sure. I just tried this once and it was in the right order and I just kept it. So in all honesty, didn't give that much thought about speed ticks or anything like that in this whole team right now. But if you get the Varamos to move always just before the counter lands, okay, sure, I have everything on Vayu and it's gonna fire proc and it's gonna happen that it doesn't. But even that, then, I never had any fails. So I would say that this is insanely safe as well. And I think I will be farming Giants for a bit. Then I will be trying to get a Necro team. I think I have a Necro team in mind already. Not sure if it will entirely work as I have it in mind. So I have the turn order of, I think it's Belladion, Varamos, Sigmaris, and then the other 2. think that is how it is looking. I'm not sure. Let me check in the next rotation. But yeah, I'm gonna go Necro a little bit, and the reason I could stay a little bit longer. Yeah, we have this, and then this. Okay, that makes a lot of sense because you could say like, oh, I need attack buff earlier, maybe, but attack buff is mainly for Naomi anyway, so it's kind of fine in that rotation. But I could say right now, okay, I can get the fastest progression right now from doing R4 or R5. I have been trying a bunch more R5 since I have my Lulu 2A and like the other units more leveled and a bunch more extra glory towers. I can do R5 pretty consistently already. However, I would say that doing R5 right now is somewhat of a waste because I can go into Giants, Necro, and Dragons right now and select which rune I want to get more of. So I can say like, okay, I want Fire runes. In this one, I'm saying I want more Swift runes. And the moment I go into Necro, I can say I want more Rage runes. And I think that during the event that we currently have has a lot more value than me trying to max out certain runes. So for that reason, as long as the event lasts, I'm not going to go into any raids. I'm just going to stay into just the normal dungeons until we get to the point of where I say like, okay, I have everything. So currently what I'm trying to do is like, I'm just farming this mainly, but I'm also trying to get the units that I want to place into Necro, because I actually want to start farming Necro as fast as possible, because the moment I can go into Necro, I can use the event to get more Rage runes. And this account is very useful if I get a bunch of early Rage runes in. So that is my goal right now, and that's it for this video. It was a lot easier than I thought. I think you can actually create a working Dragons or a working Giants team probably within a week if you focus the correct units for it. And yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. So you don't have to go for Dragons all too much. Still, Dragons is like 100 times easier because you just need the runes that you need or that you get simply from just, what's it called? From clearing like the whole achievement thing. But this one, I think you can get pretty close as well if you have the correct units. Because if you give like the Fatal set to her and like the support sets to those three, I think you can get pretty far as well. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and see you as always in the next